Are we like really nasty in our minds? Do we have really shitty things to say about other people? Do we have a lot of fear and paranoia? Do we have a lot of gunk that's built up in our minds? Or is our mind clear and pure and easy breezy? So here is the card, mind. Nothing's really coming up as I look at this card. Blended, blend. So what I want to do, actually, nothing is coming up from this card. Yeah, I don't know. It looks destructive and deadly and painful. And I mean, that is maybe just a continuation of the last reading too, is like that's the power of the mind that we have. Like we can instill sickness in ourselves, or we can, tell ourselves stories that determine our health or wellness or sickness. And sometimes we're really blind to the stories that we tell ourselves. And we don't realize the power that our words have. And yeah, I don't know. What I really want to do with this card is actually go into the book, the actual book. Because usually how I do these readings is I pick a card and it acts as like a doorway and a point will come up for me to talk about. But nothing's really coming up. It's like I'm almost grasping. I'm trying to reach for some point and I just don't, there's not a point that I can see really clearly. So I think I'm going to grab the book and read the book and see what that says. And hopefully that will open something up for us and give us some clarity about what this reading is about. So give me a moment. So mind. So this is what happens when we forget that the mind is meant to be a servant. This is the mind. This is what happens when we allow it to rule us and start to allow it to run our lives. The head is filled with mechanisms, the mouth is ranting and raving, and the whole surrounding atmosphere is being polluted by this factory of arguments and opinions. But wait, you say, the mind is what makes us human. It's the source of all progress, all great truths. If you believe that, try an experiment. Go into your room, shut the door, turn on a tape recorder, and give yourself total permission to say whatever is on your mind. If you really allow it to all come out without any censorship or editing, you'll be amazed at the amount of rubbish that comes spewing forth. The page of clouds is telling you that somebody somewhere is stuck in a head trip. Take a look and make sure it isn't you. This is a really cool practical example of what happens when we do really, it's that point of like, how is our mind actually existing? Is it existing in a very polluted, detrimental space? Are we like really nasty in our minds? Do we have really shitty things to say about other people? Do we have a lot of fear and paranoia? Do we have a lot of gunk that's built up in our minds? Or is our mind clear and pure and easy breezy? Like what I speak is what I think. Is there that alignment, or is what I think so bad that I hide it and I don't speak what's actually in my mind because I can't, because it's so horrific? So it's realizing that the point ultimately is get to a clear mind where we can say whatever it is in our mind, because our starting point and our understanding of who we are is so clear and innocent, and we hold no judgment, we hold no resentment, we hold no blame, we hold no guilt, we hold no nothing. Like if we're holding on to something in our minds, and not willing to speak it, or even if we are willing to speak it, is it judgmental in nature? Is it detrimental to people? Is it belittling people? Is it defining people in a way that isn't actually who they are? Or is it seeing clearly? Do we see clearly through our mind? Because that's the thing, like the mind has to become so transparent that we can see through it, that there's nothing that's like causing our vision to be corrupted. And so I'm just going to read now this page to it, okay? This is the situation of your head. I see cycle handles and pedals and strange things that you have gathered from everywhere. Such a small head and no space to live in. And the rubbish goes on moving in your head. Your head goes on spinning and weaving. It keeps you occupied. Just think of the kind of thoughts that go on inside your mind. And one day, just sit, close the doors, and write down for half an hour whatsoever is passing in your mind, and you will understand what I mean. And you will be surprised what goes on inside your mind. It remains in the background. It is constantly there. It surrounds you like a cloud. With this cloud, you cannot know reality. You cannot attain to spiritual perception. This cloud has to be dropped, and it is just with your decision to drop it all that it will disappear. You are clinging to it. The cloud is not interested in you. Remember it. So the point that's coming up too as I read this is becoming very aware of the fact that there is a thinking mind. There is a thinking mind, and then there's the awareness of the thinking mind. And you are the awareness of the thinking mind. You are not the thinker. You can use your mind as a tool. And this is what happens when we allow our mind to take over. And I can testify to that. This is who I was 13, 14 years ago before I started my destiny process. This is who I was. I was very much all just filled with fear and paranoia and resentments. And I was clinging to the past, and I was dreadful of the future, and I attached myself to relationships. I had no independence or self-identity. I was a fucking mess. This was me. This was me. And through the process with destiny, clearing myself and purifying myself and releasing myself from all of this, realizing like I'm not what's going on in my head. It doesn't have control over me. I'm the awareness within that. And then finally getting to that point where I was like, I had a handle now on my thoughts and my mind. And now I can use it constructively, and I can use it to my benefit. And I can use it. It doesn't use me. I use it. So that's what we want to get to. And so that is such an important point here, Reese. And so thank you so much for letting me read you, because it's important for us to realize that like we are not our minds. We are not the thinkers. That's not who we are. I think, therefore I am is a limited statement. We are so much more than that. We are the life force substance that has created the mind, but the mind is something that we use, not that uses us and depletes us of our essential life force, So just a reminder to get clear that you are not your mind and what's going on in your mind. And if there's anything in your mind that you're not willing to speak directly to the person you're thinking it about or to anyone else, then consider that it's not benefiting you or anyone else, and it's actually hurting and harming you. Essentially, everything is, because it's all you anyway. So what you think about other people, how you look at other people, how you relate to other people, it's actually just all aspects of yourself, how you relate to yourself, how you think about yourself, how you define other people. It's all within you, as how it's like your process of self-realization, So just such a crucial, good, beneficial reminder that you are not your mind. Your mind is a tool to use, and that's so good. So good. Such a good point. Such a good reminder. So if you need any further clarification on this, please let me know. I'd be happy to expand. And if you had any insights or perspective from this reading that you'd like to share, I'd love to hear it. So definitely comment below or send me a message. And take care.